Everyone, and welcome to EAA AirVenture Oshkosh 2025. We are really glad you're here today. Gorgeous day to go flying, and some great news about flying too. We are very honored to have the guests we're bringing up on stage. And so to start things off, I'd like to introduce our CEO and Chairman of the Board of the Experimental Aircraft Association, Mr. Jack Pelton.
Thank you, Dick. Thank you, Dick. Welcome to AirVenture. You know, what's very special about AirVenture is it's an opportunity for us to really highlight the importance of general aviation, which some people don't realize in the country how important it is. It provides over $300 billion in economic impact. It provides over 1 million jobs. And it's really a national treasure when you think about some of the other things that general aviation does that we've been highlighting this week, which is humanitarian relief flying, along with medical flights and law enforcement, so it's critically important. This week we've also been highlighting all the innovation and safety improvements that are going on and the importance of that. But probably one of the best things for that to happen is to have a supportive Secretary of Transportation along with the FAA and everybody trying to lock arms and do what's best for the American people, especially when it comes to dealing with safety. I'm very honored that this week Secretary Sean Duffy elected to come over and find out what this was all about, and he spent a lot of personal time here. He's asked a lot of questions. He's got out and seen a lot of things, and I'm very excited and interested to hear his opinions of what he thinks so far. So thank you. And Sean?
Oh, it's great to be with all of you. I apologize first off. I've come down with a cold. I lost my voice yesterday, but it came back for this great event today. Before we get started, just real quick, how many of you are not from Wisconsin? Raise your hand. Not. So okay, great. So hopefully you've had some spotted cow beer, you've had cheese curds, and you've all experienced our great Wisconsin weather. I would just encourage you to spend more money to help drive our economy in Wisconsin. We'd be grateful for that. Just spend a little bit more. But welcome to our great state. It's wonderful to be back here. I've spent my whole life in Wisconsin, born and raised a little bit further north, up in Hayward, and my congressional district was in Wausau and that northwestern third of the state. So it's good to be back. I just want to tell you all that I think it's fascinating that we have an administration that cares about aviation. Before I took this job, actually when the president gave me this job, he talked about big, beautiful roads and bridges that connect our people. That was the first thing he talked about. But the second thing he talked about in November of last year is he talked about aviation and how we have to make sure we focus on aviation. We upgrade our systems, we make it safer and more innovative. And so to have a president that cares like that about aviation is really helpful to drive the reform that we want to see in this space. Now, I don't know if any of you have seen what we've done with regard to air traffic control. We are going to modernize ATC by the leadership of Sam Graves in the House, who's here. They gave us a historic $12.5 billion to start this upgrade, which is absolutely historic. And we are driving reform to bring online more of our air traffic controllers. You all know we're 3,000 short. We get slowed down, we get delays, we get cancellations. We're grateful for our current controller support, but we need to bring more people into the industry, and we want to ask those who are at the age of retirement to stay on and help us out. So excited about all of that, but I know that's not why you're all here today. We're excited because this administration, as I mentioned, along with the president, has promised to modernize aviation safety and efficiency, and today we're making good on that promise. We just finalized a major reform that's going to make recreational flying safer, more accessible, and far less red tape to tie us up in. And as you all know, that is our mission on Mosaic. And so, that's right. So for too long, our rules have been outdated, holding back our pilots, our builders, and our innovators. It's been over 20 years since this rule has been updated, and by the way, a lot has changed in the last 20 years, and so that's why we're excited to be here today. But in essence, what we're going to do is we're going to remove outdated weight limits on light sport aircraft. We're going to allow properly certified pilots to fly more aircraft, including some aerial work. And this expands what qualifies as light sport, cutting unnecessary regulatory burdens while keeping safety front and center as we go forward with these rules. I couldn't be more grateful to one of my key partners in the FAA, which is Chris Russell, who's going to speak after me, but he has been a killer that's probably the wrong word. He's been critical in driving this reform, and now we have Brian Bedford, who is going to be the administrator and also cares about all of this as well. But we want to encourage way more interest in aviation. Sometimes I'm driving around and you see all the airplanes. It's hard to think we can have more interest because of all the interest here, but we should have more interest in aviation. It's also going to allow us more capabilities and benefits to advanced air mobility, the eVTOLs that you're seeing around the air show. That's right. And it's going to enhance safety by ensuring the latest technologies are able to be incorporated into all of your aircrafts. So this is an exciting time. I'm thrilled about the rule. And the one thing I'm going to ask you before I step back is the best ideas do not come from DOT. The best ideas don't come from the FAA. The best ideas come from all of you on how we can do a better job. And I would just tell you all, we have an open door. And if you have great ideas on what we can do differently, what we can do better, that's going to drive innovation and drive safety, we are all ears because I think that's the mission of government. The mission of government should not be to hold back and have so many burdensome rules and regulations that don't allow those innovators to innovate and drive your safety while you're in the air. So I want to thank you all for coming out. Happy to be back in Wisconsin, and I would just make one last pitch that you all spend a little more money than you ever anticipated in Wisconsin to help drive this great economy. Thank you all very much. I'm going to now turn it over to, again, one of the key drivers, one of my best partners is the acting administrator of the FAA, Chris Russell.
Well, thank you, Mr. Secretary. And on behalf of the FAA, the entire FAA, thank you so much for your leadership in getting this rule across the finish line. I will tell you all, I've had the great fortune of working with the Secretary now for over 6 months. And as you can tell, the passion, the commitment to aviation in general, but certainly to aviation safety, has been remarkable. I've had the good fortune of working with the FAA off and on for over 25 years, and I've never had a leadership team, particularly Secretary Duffy, like we're experiencing today. So thank you, sir. Appreciate that. I also want to take a moment to say thank you to the FAA team, my team, that has been so hard at work with all of you in getting this rule done. And also, I think it's very important to realize, in addition to the FAA work, we went through over 1,300 comments in our public notice. And so thank you to the industry for contributing to this rule. It really is a great testament to government and industry coming together to put together rules that make sense, rules that lower the bureaucracy and increase safety, because that's what we're all about every day. So, as the Secretary said, Mosaic will expand access to safe, modern, and affordable aircraft for recreation, training, and aerial work, all while upholding the highest safety standards. It brings major updates to light sport aircraft and to sport pilot privileges based on 2 decades of solid safety performance. Now, over the next year, we will phase in this rule and conduct broad outreach to everyone so they know what's changing and how we will implement that together. General aviation remains the backbone of American aviation, and its safety continues to be our top priority. This spring's General Aviation and Business Aviation Call to Action, hosted by many of the general aviation associations that are here today, was much appreciated and another step in that journey to a safer general aviation community. Now, looking ahead, we're working with industry and international partners as well to safely integrate these new technologies, such as eVTOLs, advanced air mobility, and other types of technologies, safety technologies and avionics that go into the aircraft themselves. Together with global partners such as the UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, we're also harmonizing the standards so that the builders of these aircraft can sell those aircraft overseas and, again, maintain that global safety posture. As I like to say, safety is a team sport. It depends on collaboration across the FAA, across industry, and of course, the aviation users themselves. I'm inspired by the collective effort I see here every day at AirVenture, and I see Mosaic as one of those prime examples of what we can do together when we get in that room and work it out. So, together we will continue to keep our skies safe, accessible, and of course, to make sure that we continually improve along our successful paths going forward. So, thank you all. And now, it's my pleasure to recognize Chairman Sam Graves, a true champion for general aviation. When we think about the FAA reauthorization of 2024 and the first ever general aviation section in that bill, in that law, it's because of Chairman Graves and his leadership. So it's my pleasure to introduce him now for a few comments.
Thanks. It's a pleasure to be here. This is my 30th time to Oshkosh, to AirVenture. And I've been coming here a long time, and it's even better when you get to come and having coming on the heels of a great bill that we passed, an FAA reauthorization, and all the good work we did with GA. But I have to commend the President Trump, in his commitment to modernizing our air traffic control system, which was in the big, beautiful bill that we passed. And we did have a down payment in there, as the Secretary mentioned, at $12.5 billion. That's a down payment. It's going to take more money, and we will find them the money that they need to get this done and get it done quickly. But I have never seen a secretary more committed and more engaged in fixing the problems that we have in aviation, the problems that we see as pilots in aviation. And Secretary Duffy is working, and I look forward to working with him more to implement FAA, the FAA reauthorization and all the provisions in there. But he is completely committed, and that's a great thing. It really is. And the fact that he's here is that's what shows it. That's what shows it. So with Mosaic, I was there when we did the first sport pilot rule. And as was pointed out, as Chris pointed out, we've got almost 2 decades of good, hard data to be able to go back on. So in the FAA reauthorization, we put a deadline for the FAA to get the final rule for Mosaic done within 2 years. And they beat that by 9 months. That's something great. When the FAA gets it done early, that's a good thing, but this is a pattern that's we're continuing to see within the FAA, and that's due to the leadership of Secretary Duffy and the leadership of Deputy Administrator Chris Rocheleau. That is a commitment that they have made to aviation, and that's a commitment that we're going to continue to get to see. But Mosaic is going to make light sport more accessible and more versatile, and it's going to bring more pilots into the process, which is exactly what we need. But I want to thank them. Thanks, guys, for what you did and for implementing that and doing it. I'm going to turn it back over to Jack.
Real quick, I should have mentioned we all enjoy this great event, and under Jack's leadership, he has built this out in a profound way. And Jack, I know everyone here appreciates your hard work to make this a world-class event, the best in the world right here in Oshkosh. So thank you for your leadership. And just as a note, if you see one of these folks walking around in an FAA shirt, there might have been times in the past where you might have want to boo them. Tell them thank you, because it has been their truly hard work that has been on the forefront of thinking how we can do better to serve all of you, drive innovation, and truly drive safety. So if you see those blue shirts and the FAA logo on them, please say thank you to them, because they're working tirelessly for all of you to get it right. With that, we're happy to take questions. I hope the media is going to have really nice questions for us today, like the weather. We'll see. And I know Chris is going to come up here with me as well. But first off, any questions?
Hey, Secretary Matt from WISA in Milwaukee. I saw you up in the tower yesterday. I'm curious, with the funding, what is the $12 billion going to allow you to do, and what happens if you don't get the additional 19?
So the question is, we have $12.5 billion, which, by the way, Sam Graves gave me all the money he possibly could to get us that $12.5 billion. So number one, we're going to redo telecom, right? Radios, voice switches, let go from copper to fiber, build a brand new telecom network. We're going to replace our 1950s, 1960s, 1970s radar with that money. We have $2 billion for a brand new center. Where that's going to go, we don't know yet. There's potentially opportunity for consolidations of centers in the country. But if you're thinking about a brand new air traffic control system, it really is the common automation platform. It's the software on how this is going to work. We got a little bit of money, I think $300 million, if I'm not mistaken, to start that process. We're going to try to. I've asked Chris to pull up the FAA cushions in the couch and shake it to find more cash. But that is the part that's going to take us a little bit of time. It's going to take us, whether it's 7-8 months to ask industry to provide us with a product that will work for the American airspace. We have to debug it, so we're probably a year and a half out before that could be deployed. But that truly is the new system that we don't really have an off-the-shelf solution to deploy. And I'll just make one other note. It's been a problem because Congress has given sporadic funding, no doubt, but this is complicated to do. But again, if we can put a man on the moon with technology that's less powerful than your iPhone, we can absolutely update our air traffic control system, and we are going to make that happen. And if it doesn't happen, I can guarantee you, hopefully not on Twitter, but somewhere else, the president will fire me. So I'm going to make sure that happens for sure.
And quickly on training, we visited the site in Joliet recently where they're training folks to become air traffic controllers. Do you have any plan? Is there a concern that the training needs to expand? You need to open more sites, you need to get more people trained? On the back end, how do you solve that?
So we're talking about controllers. Oklahoma City is the heart of training our controllers. There's the opportunity to have more schools stand up and train more controllers. But we have the most controllers in the history of Oklahoma City at our training facility right now than ever in our past. We're going to hit our 2,000 controller threshold this year. We're hoping to get to don't lock me into this. I'm going to shoot for 2,500 next year. Maybe it's going to be 23, 24, but we're going to get more controllers in. I'll just tell you, it was more complicated than you would recognize to actually get rid of the bottlenecks, to get the best young people into the school first and get them in fast. If it takes 2 years after you apply for the school and you can't get in, you're going to go find some other job. So we've streamlined that process. I've also offered controllers who are at the eligible age of retirement to stay on. Help us out. We're giving them a 20% upfront bonus per year for every year they stay. These are the most experienced controllers. We're in great need. We want to see them stay on with us, help us out during this time. So, and again, you saw. Thank yes. And by the way, if you see the pink shirts around, thank them too. They're doing an awesome job here and excited to be at Oshkosh. Again, they all bid to come to this great event. So that's what we're doing. And again, none of these solutions happen overnight. I can't snap my fingers and fix them. The problems have taken decades to create. It's going to take us, months and some years to fix some of these. But if we don't start now, it never gets fixed. And so we are fully engaged to make sure that we revitalize and remake our complete system. So you want to talk more about Mosaic?
So today, the rule is live. You can go on the internet right now, and the rule is live. So we're very happy. Again, credit to the Secretary for setting a deadline and driving us, as the chairman talked about, we beat that requirement in the reauthorization. We're very proud of that. Now, over the next year, we're going to roll that out because it's, having read it twice, it's very long, it's very detailed, and it's going to mean different things for different operators. At the end of the day, though, we're talking about opening up the light sport aircraft category, making it safer based on the data we've already received. So we're very proud of that. And again, we've got some subject matter experts here later on. If you want to engage them, they're very proud of the fantastic work they've done, again, along with industry itself. So again, back to the question, we're going to roll this out over the next year. We're going to be working closely with stakeholders, with the industry, to make sure that we get this, as we roll it out, right, so that we can translate and make sure that the application itself is correct. So again, very proud of our opportunity here to work together to make this category of aircraft safer as we bring in more people to our aviation community.
Just so everybody understands, the most important part of this is it eliminates the weight rule. What it does is it bases it on stall speed, 61 knots, no more than 61 knots stall speed. So what that's going to include is your Cessna 172s, 150, your Cherokees, all the Piper Cherokees out there. It completely overhauls that, and we're going to base it on. That's the most important part of this. And also, there's no seat requirement in there anymore. We've done away with all that. It's based on 61 knots stall speed. So that's what everybody wants to know.
Mr. Secretary, welcome to Oshkosh. Can you describe some of the other parameters that are going to be part of the new Mosaic rule? There have been a number of them that have been in contention from parts of the industry, above and beyond stall speed, which of course is critical to many, and good on you for that one. But we'd like to get some more parameters if we could.
So we'll tee these guys up. Before we came out, Chris said, I'm taking all Mosaic questions with Sam Graves. I said, okay, that's fine. So.
Yeah, so I'll start that answer by saying we have the people that wrote that rule that will be helping you implement that rule right here, and you can get them afterwards. But the big things, as the chairman talks about, is taking that weight limit away, right, and allowing for additional safety technologies to be put in these aircraft to be sold in a safer manner and operated in a safer manner. The other thing I think that's significant that didn't come up is the requirements on noise. Right? So there was a lot of feedback that we got from the public on noise requirements, and we should leave them in there. We shouldn't. We should make them mandatory. And so what we ended up doing was made them voluntary, because again, what we're talking about here is the manufacturing of aircraft that are going to go around the world, right? We want our manufacturers to be able to sell, and so having that as an option so that if they meet those standards, they can sell those aircraft overseas is where we wanted to go with this. So I think the weight limit is big. We will see training. I think there's going to be advantages to training. There'll be some aerial work that are in different categories, and as the chairman mentioned, we've increased the seating capacity as well. So those are the big takeaways. Thank you. So there'll be obviously a pilot, and we'll have up to 4 seats. Is that right? So
Because initially it was open seats, 1 passenger.
No. So let me be clear. So we'll have up to 4 seats, right? You'll have a pilot, and then it's 2 passengers, 1 passenger for a sport pilot. Again, you'll want to talk to these guys here, because again, as we roll this out, it's going to take a minute to see how it impacts you directly, whether it's an eVTOL company or an advanced air mobility company and the like. And so what we wanted to be able to do is, again, lift that weight limit to make sure that we're bringing new safety technologies into the aircraft itself. Oh, I don't know. Clean or dirty flaps? I don't know.
And I've got a question for you.
61 dirty.
On the flaps.
61 dirty. 61 dirty.
61 dirty.
61 dirty.
61 dirty.
Okay. Okay.
I've got a quick question. Since now you're opening up 172s and 180s and things into the light sport category, will they
people who own those aircraft have to make any, doing any inspections or do anything, or will it just be a turnkey?
No, it's turnkey. Again, if there's some technical questions, please come down front here and we'll introduce you to the team and you can kind of talk through a little more specifics.
For Secretary Duffy, this is Austin from Space Export. You were recently assigned that interim NASA admin position. This is obviously a massive step for general aviation. How are you going to now continue with both of these two roles in both respects on this on a quick deadline, fast-moving pace?
Yeah, I appreciate the question. So what's important on the space front is you need an interim administrator. Otherwise, we stall at NASA. So I can come in and help make the critical decisions so we're not waiting 4 months, 6 months, 8 months for the administrator to be confirmed, because that means we're 4, 6, 8 months behind those who are our greatest competitors in space. And so it's a lot. I'm not going to lie to you. They're two big jobs. But some people might ask, how can you navigate 9 kids? You can navigate 9 kids. It's about having great teams together as we do this, and again, that's what we're going to do. And but what's interesting is the president is committed to going to the moon, right? And let's set up a base, and what we learn there is going to take us to Mars. But one of the problems we have is the Artemis program. A lot of people don't know what it is or what we want to do. Everyone knew what Apollo was. We need to sell the American people on where we're going, why we're going, and as the human race, and specifically Americans, we're explorers. But if you don't know the mission of NASA, that is a huge problem for the American people. So we're going to make sure that America knows what the mission is, and we're going to move the agenda forward with NASA. But again, this is my main priority: aviation safety, ATC modernization. Getting this done is critical for this administration, for the president, for me, for the FAA, and so you will not see us skipping the beat in all that we're doing to make sure that when we come back next year, we'll double the crowd, and you guys will be incredibly pleased at the progress that we have made. And you'll also recognize that we've listened. We've listened to you and what you need and what you want, and we'll continue those conversations and continue to innovate to make sure that our rules match the technology and the desires of the aviation space, not just this year, but in the coming years as well. And so with that, I want to thank you all for bearing the heat in Wisconsin. Thanks for being here, and Sam Graves is going to close it.
I just want to clarify 2 things from the questions I heard. It's 2 souls on board, 4 seats. And then there are provisions in there for night flight, which I think we're still working through, but there will be provisions in there for night flight. So, thank you all very much. Thanks for everything. Thanks, Jack.